Happy Wednesday to you all. It's such a beautiful day in New York City. I wish that we were meeting under different circumstances. I hope you are all healthy and strong and remaining vigilant. Welcome to our second coronavirus edition of Facebook Live. I am immigration attorney Shawn, a proud member of CUNY Citizenship Now. We are the nation's leading university campus-based immigration law services provider. First, I'd like to express our gratitude, our sincerest gratitude to our generous sponsors, the Liberty Defense Project of the New York State Office of New Americans. You can go ahead and check out the great work they do for immigrants at the ny.gov website. Once there, please search on Liberty Defense Project. Also want to acknowledge the amazing New York City Council for the important funding that makes Citizenship Now's award-winning free immigration legal services possible. So before we begin, I just want to just remind everybody to please hit that share button. We need everyone watching to do this. If you know someone who would benefit from our free immigration law services, if you've ever been to our community events, if you've ever benefited from our services, help us spread the word. We are reaching dozens of people right now, and we need to make that several hundred. We want to get to 500 and 600. Again, you can help us. Hit that share button just one more time. At Citizenship Now, we haven't missed a beat since quarantine started. Since New York went on pause, we have helped hundreds of immigrants with their needs remotely, with consultations and filing of forms, helping with USCIS requests, information deadlines. Our attorneys, our paralegals, our wonderful call center staff, our admin staff, we are here for the immigrant community now more than ever. And if we can assist you, please give us a call. Here's the number, 646-664-9400. Again, it's 646-664-9400. If we don't answer, please leave a message. We will return your call within 24 hours. You can also text. Here's the text number. Sorry about that. 929-334-3784. You can also email us at citizenshipnowinfo@cuny.edu. Finally, a big heartfelt thanks to all the healthcare and COVID frontliners, COVID-19 warriors, doctors, nurses, food delivery professionals, mail carriers, etc. Here in New York, around the country, and the world. You probably know that COVID-19, I'm sorry, I think I just gave out the wrong number. It's 646-664-6400. Sorry about that. Somebody's going to get some weird calls in a few minutes. 6400 is the last four digits. All right. We already received a couple of, what I was saying was, you probably know that COVID-19 has particularly ravaged New York's immigration population, and with so many of you COVID warriors, immigrants yourselves, we thank you and we honor you. Okay, we've already received a couple of questions by email and text. Again, we are taking questions in the comments, and we'll answer them in a Q&A session at the end following the update. Okay. All right. Please go ahead and enter your questions, and we'll get to as many as we can at the end. All right. So let's start today with a couple of super important public service announcements for all New Yorkers. The New York State Department of Health has partnered with Northwell Health to begin offering free antibody and diagnostic testing starting today, May 13th, for the next 2 weeks at 24 churches in the 5 boroughs, Nassau and Westchester counties. This is by appointment only. To find a location and make an appointment, call 833, the number 4, CARE New York. That's 833-422-7369. New Yorkers, if you've lost your health care insurance because you lost your job from COVID-19, you can sign up for coverage in the New York State, the New York State of Health Marketplace through June 15, 2020. Please note that you must apply within 60 days of losing coverage. Go to newyorkstateofhealth.newyork.gov for more information. Healthcare workers to access emotional support, you can text NY Frontline to 741-741. Again, NY Frontline to 741 844-741. All other New Yorkers can call the COVID-19 Emotional Support Hotline at 844-863-9314 for mental health counseling. Domestic violence survivors in New York City, if it's not safe at home, you can find services at nyc.gov/nychope or by dialing 1-800-621-HOPE. Of course, if it's an emergency, please dial 911. Finally, the great folks at 311 in New York City are available to discuss any of the services and benefits offered by New York City related to COVID-19. All right. One last thing before we get to the immigration updates. Just want to quickly talk about the census 2020. You know, we all have the right to be counted, to be visible, to have a voice in our communities. If you want any of these things, you must complete the census. It is for everyone. We all need to do this, regardless of immigration status, regardless of whether we're citizens or not. We know some questions about ethnicity or gender, may not agree with how you define yourself, but don't let that discourage you. All right? All that scary talk about a citizenship question from a few months ago, that's gone. There is no citizenship question. Also, all your info is confidential. It will not and cannot by law be used against you in any way. All right, due to COVID-19, the Census Bureau has extended the self-reporting deadline now from July 31st to October 31st. And you can complete the census online or on the phone. Completing only takes 10 minutes, and many languages are available for the first time. All right, so for more information, please visit 2020census.gov. All right, okay, so on to the immigration updates. Let's see what's going on with USCIS. All right, so USCIS offices have been closed since March 18th, and the latest from them is that they will reopen on June 4th or after. They put in that contingency. But practically speaking, we can probably expect some further delays, especially in regions like New York City, where lifting the quarantine could be delayed. Even when USCIS opens, we should expect a patchwork return to services, hopefully not too long. All right, so, but they are still scheduling emergency appointments. To reach USCIS in an emergency, you can contact them at 800-375-5283. Or you can visit uscis.gov/coronavirus to stay on top of any USCIS policy changes resulting from COVID-19. All right? Now, for pending applications, appointments for biometrics, for fingerprints, for interviews, swearing-in ceremonies, these are all being rescheduled. If you fall in this category, please wait until USCIS reopens and await the rescheduling notice. Now, for some applications on a case-by-case basis, USCIS is even accepting previous biometrics and processing the applications without a new one. So, and we've seen this recently with a number of green card applications, with some work authorization card renewals. Also, we learned very recently that USCIS has even waived interviews when citizens are petitioning for their parents. So they really are showing some real positive flexibility during these times. So please, but if you are not in one of these categories and you're waiting for your application, hang on. They are gonna get back to you and to us as soon as they reopen. Of course, despite closing their offices, USCIS staff are continuing to perform duties that do not involve contact with the public. Notably, they're still accepting applications, and in one of the happier ironies of the lockdown, they actually seem to be more productive processing these applications in the past few weeks, without the burden of public appointments. This includes renewing green cards, work authorization cards, anything that can be processed without scheduling interviews. USCIS is prioritizing these applications. But this is the perfect time to get into the queue. Let us assist you with your immigration application right now, because when USCIS opens, the backlog of appointments is expected to be significant. Again, let us get your application in the pipeline before the backlogs begin. Please give us a call. Again, the number 646-664-6400. Again, you can also reach us by text, 929-334-3784, or you can email us at citizenshipnowinfo@cuny.edu. Some applications can be completed and submitted relatively quickly. Citizenship applications, and oh, I'm sorry. I just realized that my sign is wrong. That number is 646-664-9400, and I am not going to show the sign again. I apologize for that. So again, let me repeat those numbers. Please give us a call, 646-664-9400, by text 929-334-3784. Thank you to the great production staff for pointing that out to me. I really appreciate it. Email again, citizenshipnowinfo@cuny.edu. All right. Now, as I was saying, some applications can be completed and submitted relatively quickly. Citizenship applications, green card renewals, these can be filed online with credit card or bank account information if you don't qualify for a fee waiver. But I do want to talk about fee waivers right now, because coronavirus could impact USCIS application fee waivers in a big, big way. The issue here is whether job losses resulting from COVID-19 can qualify someone to receive a fee waiver, and the answer is yes. If your application is one that qualifies for a fee waiver, you can file under the temporary hardship category. This includes COVID-related furloughs as well. So if you're in this category, please give us a call. We may be able to help get that fee waived for you. This includes the $725 fee for citizenship, the $540 to renew your green card, or even the very expensive $1,170 to get a citizenship certificate if you acquired or derived citizenship from your parents and never got the certificate before. Again, if you lost your job or have been furloughed because of COVID-19, have been thinking about filing these applications, but the cost has prevented you from doing so before, call us now. As long as you can demonstrate an inability to pay because of your job loss, we should be able to assist you. Of course, if you and your qualified members of your household are currently receiving means-tested benefits like Medicaid, food stamps, housing assistance, or if your household income is at or below the 150% poverty level, you still remain eligible for the fee waiver. Okay. Here are some other COVID-19 related impacts on some specific USCIS services. All right. There's no need to file photos or have biometrics done for employment authorization renewals. Previously submitted biometrics will be used to process the employment authorization renewal applications. So that will allow these applications to continue while USCIS offices are closed. So that's really good news. Again, also, as I mentioned earlier, we learned that USCIS is processing some green card renewals without biometrics, again, on a case-by-case basis. So if you've been waiting to hear back on your green card renewal and waiting for the biometrics appointment, maybe a good strategy is to call them to check if they can proceed without it. All right? So next I want to, let's see, what's up next? Oh, yes. In response to COVID-19, USCIS has granted automatic 60-day extensions for all requests for evidence and notices of intent to deny. This applies to requests, notices or decisions between March 1st and July 1st of 2020. If you still have any questions about the time limit you have to respond to these requests, you can call USCIS customer service at 800-375-5283 and ask about your 60-day extension. Of course, we are also pleased to assist you with this. All right. All right. All right. Switching gears here a little bit. There was a lot of early misinformation about obtaining medical care for COVID-19 and whether this could possibly impact your immigration status negatively, particularly those seeking green cards under the new public charge rule. We know now that it does not. So please do not refuse medical care for you or your kids if you are experiencing COVID symptoms for fear of it affecting your immigration status in any way. USCIS will not consider this, will not consider testing, treatment, preventative care, including vaccines, when and if we ever get one, right? It will not be considered as part of a public inadmissibility determination. Even if your treatment is being provided or paid for by one or more public benefits like your Medicaid. Finally, for those filing an adjustment status application at this time, if COVID-19, for those filing an adjustment of status application, if COVID-19 has prevented anyone seeking a green card from working or attending school, a statement and documentation can be filed with the adjustment of status application explaining how the COVID-19 crisis has prevented the applicant from working or attending school. All right. Adjustment of status applications can be complicated, particularly with the new public charge rules. And right now, we have some of the best trained immigration attorneys and paralegals on our staff when it comes to these applications. All right. Okay, what's next? All right, let's talk about the executive order, the new green card suspension for 60 days. I think Alan Warnick talked about this the last time, but you'll recall that on April 22nd, COVID-19 gave this administration cover to suspend new immigration visas to enter the United States for 60 days under the pretense of protecting American jobs. Well, how's that working, right? We're now at day 22, and what effect has this practically had? All right, the embassies are still closed. No one is getting consular interviews for green cards. That was COVID-19, not this ridiculous suspension. There are so many exempted individuals that the effect was going to be negligible from the start. This suspension does not apply to those applying for adjustment of status in the U.S., for current green card holders, for spouses and minor children of U.S. citizens, for healthcare professionals, and even EB-5 immigrant investors. Okay, and that's the point here. This ban is such a narrow scope that in action it was always just a little more than typical xenophobic electioneering and divisiveness from this administration to instill fear about immigrants stealing American jobs. But yet I want to stay hopeful. But my guess is the 60-day suspension hopefully will lift, but perhaps was only just to plant the seed that leads to more prolonged bans on new immigrants to save American jobs. Still we need to keep fighting, right? We're the army of resistance, and that means we have to keep applying and keep trying. We recognize that so many of you may have family members you've petitioned for and are waiting for things to open up and are affected by this suspension. So we remain hopeful that embassies will start opening up again real soon and resume the processing of these applications. Again, if you have any questions of how the executive order or the COVID-19 closures affect your case, please give us a call. All right? Again, want to give the number again, 646-664-9400. Oh, if you cannot get through, please leave a message. Your call will be returned for 24 hours. I am so sorry about my voice sounding hoarse right now. I hope that we can make it through. All right. So in short, again, the 60-day suspension doesn't mean you can't file for adjustment of status if you're in the United States, or even start a new petition, for a family member abroad to get an immigrant visa. Again, this is a great time to get your applications into the queue. And again, our experts are among the best trained in the country on these applications. All right. Let's see now. We see a few questions coming in. Again, Q&A at the very end. Please go ahead and send us your questions through the comments, or you can send us an email at citizenshipnowinfo@cuny.edu and by text at 929-334-3784. All right, let's switch gears now. I just want to check the time, 3:22. Okay, international students who've been affected by the COVID-19 quickly. With schools closed, they're going to remote learning only. The government has already confirmed that international students can temporarily engage in distance learning, either from within the United States or outside the country. Still, you want to go ahead and check with your school's international student advisor before you make any decisions. Every student situation is different. Every school may be on a different return schedule. And once school returns to normal operations, if students cannot choose not to return to the United States to study, DSOs are being instructed to terminate the school service records. So you want to make sure that no matter what you end up doing, whether taking classes remotely for the full semester or part of a semester, make sure your school will keep your F1 and J1 service record active for studying online full time, either in the U.S. or back at home if you choose to return. All right. Finally, about students, we imagine there are a lot of F1 students experiencing really severe economic hardships because of COVID-19. We know the jobs outlook is not good, but in case you might find something, you can certainly request employment authorization to work off campus by filing an application for employment authorization along with your Form I-20. All right. You want to make sure that if you do this, you include the employment page completed by your designated school official. All right. So your DSO should certify your eligibility for off-campus employment because of the severe economic hardship caused by COVID-19. All right. Again, students with questions are always urged to contact their International Student Services Office or their International Student Advisors. All right. We're getting some inquiries from people coming close to the end of their visitor visas who may be stuck in the U.S. The thing you don't want to do is just wait around for everything to open up. All right. You need to take proactive steps and make sure you do everything possible to stay in a period of authorized stay. Again, COVID-19 does not give anyone an excuse to stay here unauthorized. So what you need to do is apply for an extension of status, before your authorized period of stay expires. Most non-immigrants can minimize the immigration consequences of COVID-19 by making sure you file a timely application for that extension of stay. All right, there is a $455 filing fee for this application, and you really should do your best to include proof of your good faith effort to leave. Perhaps you had a flight scheduled that was canceled, or include a statement explaining your situation. Again, it's so important that you file for this in a timely manner and that everyone in the situation is aware of their authorized period of stay. All right, and as long as you file your extension of status request timely, and it's not frivolous, those with non-immigrant visas generally do not accrue unlawful presence while your application is pending. All right, and we do expect, and we are hopeful that USCIS will be flexible and generous with these extensions because of COVID-19. All right. All right. Now, let's talk about quickly the ESTA waiver program, visa waiver program. Those here in the United States from one of the 39 countries participating in the program, if you came here with a visa waiver and are in danger of overstaying your authorized period of stay because of COVID-19, CBP, Customs and Border Protection, now is authorizing an additional 2 30-day periods of what is called satisfactory departure. All right. Now, this is unprecedented. They've never granted this before. So these are handled by CBP at any CBP port of entry, usually located at or near international airports. Probably the best place for most people to go is to go to the CBP office at the airport you flew into when you arrived in the U.S. and to request your extension. All right. Travelers should bring with them their passport and also be prepared to document your inability to depart the United States with documentation including perhaps flight cancellations, home country conditions, travel restrictions, illnesses, or COVID-19 exposure. And again, after you're granted an initial 30-day extension, if you have to request a second 30-day satisfactory departure period, you have to do this within the first 30-day extension. So being aware of your deadlines is really important here. All right. So and failure to depart, or request satisfactory departure can result in the revocation of your privileges under the visa waiver program and even other immigration consequences. Okay. Check the time here. Okay, we're running a little bit late, but maybe a few minutes late. Let me just, this is important. Green card holders stuck abroad, if the current circumstances force you to stay outside the U.S. for more than 180 days, we are confident that you will be able to allow to return and hopeful that, well, let me just say this. You will be allowed to return. We're hopeful that USCIS will forgive and waive any adverse effects from your delayed return. However, we do recommend you always know what your options are. You want to keep your records and make sure that you're making every effort to document your inability to return. For example, again, the government of the country you're in has closed airports, or there's so many flight cancellations that you could not return safely. All right. All right. If you have a green card and will, because of COVID-19, pass the 1 year mark away, and you don't already have a reentry permit, you'll probably need to apply for a returning resident SB1 visa. All right. You can check the U.S. Embassy or consulate for that. All right. Let's take a minute to answer some questions. So many questions. Let's see. I need to know how I can get help with the fees application. I think this means for the application fees. You definitely want to give us a call. Give us a call, and one of our attorneys or paralegals can certainly assist you with this. There are a number of applications, and you didn't write here which application, but there's a number of applications that you can be eligible for a fee waiver. So long as you are getting either a means tested benefit or can demonstrate your inability to pay because of your recent job loss, or you or your qualified family member falls below the 150% of the poverty guidelines threshold, we should be able to get you a fee waiver. All right. I submitted another question. I submitted and filed Form I-130, a petition for alien relative. How long does it take now for USCIS to respond by mail with receipt notice? Well, you know what? The receipt notice, you didn't. I wish I could have seen when you sent this application in. If you don't have a receipt notice, you probably should call. And it's been several weeks now, a couple of months. They are working in their offices, and something like this, you should have gotten a receipt notice, say, 6 to 8 weeks at the outset, maybe a little bit longer because of what's going on with COVID. So if it has been that long and you have not heard from them, please give them a call. All right. What will happen? One last question before we go on. What will happen to those citizenship applications which were filed a year later after removal of green card conditions? Meaning that a year after applying for removal of conditions, it was noted that both were to be processed in conjunction. Yes. So, that's been a recurring, the delays in processing the I-751, the removal of conditions, has been a problem for a while now. They're granting these automatic 18-month extensions, and that should give everyone an idea of how long it's been taking for them to get to this. Now, of course, it sounds like the applicant here probably had, they were ready to apply for citizenship, waiting around for their removal of conditions. USCIS tells us they do adjudicate them both now together. So depending on what region you are, you're probably looking at maybe up to a year, year and a half after the citizenship application is sent in. Other reasons might be a little bit less. If you want us to, you can certainly go on the USCIS website, and there is a section there to check on your case status and the time frames that they are taking. Again, if you have any questions, please give us a call and certainly leave a message. Again, the number 646-664-9400. All right. So a few other updates. We'll get to a couple of more questions. We got a really great question on citizenship delays from COVID-19 by email. I want to get to that in a second. I hope everyone is well. I see some of our great, stupendous volunteers are watching now. Love you guys to death. Thank you for tuning in. Citizenship Now has hands down the greatest volunteer corps in all the world. I am convinced of it. So thank you so much for your support. All right, so let's talk about we talked about okay. So let me see. 1 second. All right, let's quickly take a look at what's going on with the Department of State. And got another question. All right. So we haven't yet discussed how COVID-19 could adversely affect citizenship applications, and we have an email on just that. Julian sent us an email. He is a green card holder stuck in Germany because of COVID-19. He writes, I worry that I might violate the 6 months criteria. Let me just pull it up here. Okay. I worry that I might violate the 6-month criteria that is required for naturalization after 5 years. I left the U.S. for Germany in early February and was supposed to return in early August, which would have been 6 months. I have a return flight booked for September only, which would be 7 months, not 6 months. My lease for my Chicago apartment ended in January, and since I'm without a job, the plan was to stay back home in Germany. But now I'm stuck here. All this time I maintain U.S. health coverage in my bank accounts in New York. I'm worried that I won't be able to apply for citizenship. All right, that was a lot, Julian. Thanks for your email. This is really important. Hey, Julian, if you're watching, just want to say that we're glad that you're healthy and that you're staying vigilant about your health. First, just want to make it clear, it is much, much better for your chances of citizenship to come back before 6 months. All right. Second, when you apply for citizenship, they may ask you why you tried to come back, whether you tried to come back earlier than 7 months, and why you couldn't come back only 1 month earlier. Now things are starting to slowly open up here, Julian, in America. So, and while you can say that you were concerned about infection during travel, it really would be better if you obtain evidence that perhaps Germany was strongly advising against travel, or that you experienced, a lot of difficulty finding flights without worrying about your safety. As I said before, we are hopeful that USCIS will look at these situations generously. Now, as far as you're maintaining your ties to the U.S., sounds like you may be having enough. Sounds like you have enough to convince USCIS that you didn't abandon your residence here. You didn't take a job in Germany. And Julian, please don't do that, okay? You kept your bank accounts here, and you had every intention to return to the United States, all right? But, on the flip side, I am a little bit concerned that, you let go of your apartment and don't have an apartment or job to come home to right now. Still, my guess is that, that the COVID-19 delays, may factor positively for you. And you know what? And Julian, if not, the worst you're looking at is waiting 4 years and 6 months after you return to apply for citizenship. All right. Let's see. Let me see if there's any more. Is Citizenship Now helping filling out applications? Absolutely. Citizenship Now is helping fill out applications. Please give us a call. There are a number of applications that are outside our scope of services, but the vast majority of family-based immigration applications we can assist you with. All right. If someone had an interview for citizenship canceled, will they get a new date? All right. So yes, they will get a new date if the citizenship appointment or interview was canceled because of COVID-19. You know, if you are in New York, hopefully they will open up and reschedule you. So the answer is yes to that. All right. All right. How long in advance can I apply for my permit renewal for DACA if it expires in the middle of December? I was saving the best for last. That is the best question. All right. So, you know what? We are so over time, but you know what? Let's talk about DACA. Again, saving the best for last. Thank you for the question. All you beautiful dreamers out there, your DACA status, to all of you, all 720 to 800,000 of you, a big virtual hug from all of us to every one of you. All right. You know, with the Supreme Court decision coming real soon, you know, most think in June, DACA recipients should right now look into renewing your status. You know, even if you're told it's too early, you write that your DACA expires in the middle of December. You know what? You should call us now. Many DACA recipients have recently renewed early to extend their status as long as possible. You know, call us. Time is almost out. You know, we are probably down to the final couple of weeks of DACA renewals. You know, understand the $495 renewal fee could be a challenge. You know, but there are still several DACA renewal grants that are available from great organizations like the Hispanic Federation, the New York Immigration Coalition, several others, and we can set you up with these. All right. So DACA recipients, the viewer who sent in this great question, please call us to learn your options before the Supreme Court hands down its decision. You know, we will prioritize you. Again, our number 646-664-9400. You know, and if you don't get through, please leave a message. We will call you back within 24 hours. You know, the last time I wish I could talk about DACA about you guys for the next 2 hours, but we got to wrap it up. You know, the last time I read, there are some 30 to 40,000 dreamers on the front lines of the COVID-19 fight. You know, this country needs you now more than ever. You are the absolute embodiment and the truth that it is immigrants that make America great. All right. That's all for today's session. We'll be back next month. Be safe, be healthy, be vigilant. And as a wise old sage we know, who tells anyone who will listen to him, wash those hands. Thank you. So long. Until next time.